Hi friends. Welcome to Content Factory. Today I am talking about the country of Portugal. Portugal is a country whose mainland is located on the Iberian Peninsula of southwestern Europe, and whose territory also includes the Atlantic archipelagos of the Azores and Madeira. It features the westernmost point in continental Europe, and its Iberian portion is bordered to the west and south by the Atlantic Ocean and to the north and east by Spain, the sole country to have a land border with Portugal. Its two archipelagos form two autonomous regions with their own regional governments. Lisbon is the capital and largest city by population. Portugal is the oldest continuously existing nation-state on the Iberian Peninsula and one of the oldest in Europe, its territory having been continuously settled, invaded and fought over since prehistoric times. It was inhabited by pre-Celtic and Celtic peoples who had contact with Phoenicians and ancient Greek traders. It was ruled by the Romans, followed by the invasions of the Swabian and Visigothic Germanic peoples, in turn followed by the Moors who eventually were expelled. Portugal as a county was established during the early Christian Reconquista. Founded in 868, the county of Portugal gained prominence after the Battle of São Mamede in 1128. The Kingdom of Portugal was later proclaimed following the Battle of Ourique in 1139, and independence from León was recognized by the Treaty of Zamora in 1143. Portugal is home to a variety of landscapes, and nestled in them are some of the world's most gorgeous places. Bordered by the sea under a warm sun, this southern European country is laid back and welcoming. It has affordable wine, delicious food, a Mediterranean feel, and a strong cultural identity. Portugal is one of the safest countries to travel to in the world and, according to the Internation survey, 94% of Portuguese locals are friendly towards expats and tourists. More than a third of expats reported feeling at home immediately, while nearly half said they might stay in Portugal forever. The Portuguese people are a Romance nation and ethnic group indigenous to Portugal who share a common culture, ancestry, and language. The Portuguese people's heritage largely derives from the pre-Celts, Proto-Celts and Celts, who were Romanized after the conquest of the region by the ancient Romans. Ethnically, the Portuguese people form 95% of the total population. In Portugal, the Portuguese people are mainly a combination of ancient Paleolithic populations, and the Proto-Celtic, Celtic and Iberian tribes, Para-Celtic Lusitanians. A typical Portuguese person is typical of average height, with brown or dark hair and eyes. They usually have a Mediterranean complexion, with olive skin tones. Portuguese people are typically very proud of their country and culture and are very passionate about the things they love. Portugal is an overwhelmingly Christian majority country, with adherents of Islam being a minority. However, many centuries back Islam was a major religion in the territory of modern-day Portugal, beginning with the Umayyad conquest of Hispania. Portugal is considered to be an excellent place for many Americans to live and one of the best European countries to relocate to, mainly due to its picturesque cities, beautiful landscapes, and great climate. To stay and live in Portugal, you must have a Portuguese residence permit. A residence permit can be obtained if you find work in the country. Enroll in a long-term course of studies, marry a Portuguese citizen, or invest in Portugal's economy. A major downside to living in Portugal is finding a well-paying job. Whether you are making minimum wage or the average salary, do not expect to make a lot of money. In 2022, the national minimum salary in Portugal is €705 a month before tax. Even if you have no previous work experience, it is still fairly easy to find a job in Portugal. There are a lot of call centers in Lisbon, and most of the time it is not required to have experience in this field. The only qualification you need is speaking English. as your training will most likely be in English. Portugal is not a large country and you can get almost everywhere easily and efficiently by train or bus. Regional trains are often cheaper and some lines very scenic. But it's almost always quicker to go by bus, especially on shorter or less obvious routes. A car is not needed in Lisbon and Porto, but there are lots of other amazing places to explore in Portugal. Once you go outside Lisbon and Porto, public transportation options are limited. If you want full freedom to explore any area that interests you, then a car rental is really the best option. Lisbon is the capital and largest city of Portugal, with an estimated population of 2,991,000 within its administrative limits in an area of 100.05 km. It is a city known for its food, nightlife, colorful buildings, fado music, and friendly locals. Lisbon is also one of the oldest cities in Western Europe, with a history of 2,700 years. Due to its excellent trading location, the Phoenicians settled in Lisbon around 1200 BC. Lisbon is a beautiful city with a rich history. It's a great place to visit if you're interested in architecture, art, or simply want to enjoy what Portugal has to offer. You'll find plenty of attractions and activities. So it's definitely worth considering as a travel destination. Lisbon is famously surrounded by 7 hills, but you don't have to be super fit to explore. The city center is level and easily walkable. While Lisbon is the most expensive city to live in Portugal, it is quite affordable when compared to other Western European countries. Indeed, the cost of living in Lisbon for international students and expats is usually very affordable. Praia dos Gallaecia is often dubbed one of the best beaches in Lisbon, and even Europe, with tourists flocking to its shores. However, nearby is a lesser-known gem, Praia dos Galapos. This secluded bay is lapped by calm, jewel-toned waters and is great for snorkeling. Considered to be among the best in Europe, Lisbon is well known for its nightlife. It is home to many discos, bars, fado houses, and nightclubs, all catering to different tastes and interests and located throughout the city. Lisbon is around 15 miles away from the sea, therefore. These beaches are easily commutable if you are booking the nearby resorts. Generally, central Lisbon is safe, and this includes the Gallaecia and Chiado districts and the area surrounding the Avenida de Liberdade. Lisbon's worst estates are far to the northwest of the city and are areas where no tourist would have any need to go to. Unfortunately, Lisbon is no different than other metropolitan areas as pickpocketing occurs around the city. It is common for major tourist hubs to experience pickpocketing from time to time. Barcelona is one of Europe's most visited cities. Porto or Oporto is the second largest city in Portugal, the capital of the Porto district, and one of the Iberian Peninsula's major urban areas. Porto is a coastal city in northwest Portugal known for its stately bridges and port wine production. In the medieval Ribeira, Riverside, district, narrow cobbled streets wind past merchants' houses and cafes. São Francisco Church is known for its lavish Baroque interior with ornate gilded carvings. The palatial 19th-century Palacio de Bolsa, formerly a stock market, was built to impress potential European investors. World famous for its port wine, Porto is Portugal's second-largest city and is the commercial and industrial center for the zone north of the Mondego River. The historic center of Porto was designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1996. Once there, Porto is an easily walkable city, so long as you don't mind all the hills. If the hills are an issue, there's also a good public transport system that includes old wooden trams, a metro and buses. Praia de Malido is about an hour's drive from Porto, though you can also get there on a direct IR train, which takes a little over 90 minutes, the water temperature at Porto is rather cool, 61 degrees Fahrenheit, and the air temperature will feel similar. A good quality spring wetsuit with optional neoprene boots should suffice. No need for wetsuit gloves. They are beautiful structures, evidence of the care and respect that was once here, but now just toxic assets. It costs too much to restore, it is too much of a loss to sell, it's not even economically sensible to just maintain. So the buildings just sit there and slowly succumb to the combination of time and neglect. The Portuguese have an open-minded society but place a greater importance on religious values than those in other Western European nations. In Portuguese culture, people and relationships are considered more important than time, so punctuality is not as emphasized. Portugal is famous for its typical seafood dishes, popular beach destinations, and 16th to 19th century architecture, from when this country was a powerful maritime empire. It's also known for its soccer legends, fado music, historical cities, and port wine. Let's go over the 15 things that Portugal is known for. Today, the vast majority of Portuguese identify as Roman Catholic, 81%. However, most consider themselves as non-practicing. For many, national and cultural identity is often linked to Catholicism, rather than purely a religious affiliation. In the cities you will find the locals dress in a smart, casual, and understated elegant style. Opt for a smart casual look with nice shoes. Jeans are very popular everywhere in Portugal, especially with younger people, but they are always smart and clean. It is important to dress in a respectful manner, particularly when entering formal spaces such as a church. Casual attire, e.g. barefoot, beachwear, is inappropriate in public and can make one seem unsophisticated. Similarly, it is important to speak respectfully and politely. Civil liberties are generally protected. Ongoing concerns include corruption, certain legal constraints on journalism, poor or abusive conditions for prisoners, and the effects of racial discrimination and xenophobia. Subscribe this channel to get more informative video.